Rock and Roll Geek Show 702.
Still rocking after all these years.
This is the story of my rock and roll butler.
This is it, the show that started it all. Often imitated, but never equal. From San Francisco, USA, online since 2004. It's the one and only Rock and Roll Geek Show. With the original Rock and Roll Geek, Michael Butler.
Welcome to the Rock and Roll Geek Show. My name's Michael Butler. Thanks a lot for joining me. I really appreciate it. Today is Wednesday, July 20th, 2016, when I'm recording this show, and it's 7:04 p.m. Have a lot to get to tonight. The audio comments and show reviews have backed up, so we're going to do a lot of that tonight. We are going to do a lot of that tonight, and I'm going to enjoy drinking the Tecate tonight. I am thirsty as hell. Let me take a sip of this fine Tecate. Not only am I extremely thirsty, my hunger is insatiable. If that's how you pronounce it, insatiable. This stomach thing, this something that my stomach problems. I don't know if I have told you about it. The poison oak is gone, but the by the way, thank you so much for joining me, friends. My name is Michael Butler, if I didn't say that already. But the poison oak is gone, but the stomach problems continue to occur. And in the morning, I have to use the bathroom probably about 6 times, clear myself out. And after that, I am just so hungry throughout the day. I don't get full. I used to be able to get full. Now I can just eat and eat and eat and eat, which leads me to think possibly maybe that I have a tapeworm or some sort of a parasite. I have another doctor's appointment tomorrow. I do not want to shit in a plastic bag. First of all, it's going to cost $500, and my insurance is not going to pay for that. So I ain't shitting in a plastic bag, but I'm going to the doctor. I'm going to try to beg him for the parasite medicine. There's an update. All right, let's get right to some music. Sorry to bring the show down from the very start, but here is brand new Airborne. They have a new album coming out. When's it coming out? Let's see. This is from Blabbermouth. Australian hard rockers Airborne released their 4th studio album, Breaking Out of Hell, on September 16th on Spine Farm. The title track, which is the first single and video, can be heard right here. So I'm going to play that for you right now. This song is called, the song is called Breaking Out of Hell, Breaking Out of Hell. Title track from the brand new Airborne album. And like I said, if you never heard this on the show, I am taking credit for breaking Airborne in the United States. Nobody heard of them before your friend Michael Butler. Eddie Trunk certainly never heard of them. All right. Well, I'm going to continue to try to break them. Maybe I'll try to get them to come on the show. See if I can see if I still have any pull. Their manager did send their manager way back a long time ago when I first started singing the praises of Airborne on the very first Capitol album that was on Capitol Records, and then Capitol dropped them. Their manager appreciated me playing him and stuff, and sent me a whole bunch of Airborne stuff. And I ran into him at South by Southwest. He heard my voice and he goes, "Are you Michael Butler?" And there you go. He recognized me, and I don't remember his name, but I still have that Airborne hoodie and a bunch of other stuff he sent me, some stickers and CD and a whole bunch of stuff. All right, here's a brand new Airborne, Breaking Out of Hell. There you go. Brand new Airborne. I believe their manager's name is Greg, my memory serves me right. They're going on tour, and they're coming to San Francisco in September. I have an interview request and photo passes. So hopefully David Benda and I can go there and geek out with Airborne, the Airborne guys. Last time they came, I interviewed them they came to the Regency, and I interviewed them on video, and I brought them some socks. I brought them some bags of clean socks, which is always appreciated when you're on tour. So hopefully I can arrange that this time as well. I'll bring them some more socks, maybe some clean underwear. I don't know. All right. Lots of show reviews and audio comments. Might as well get right to it. I don't know which is first because I have not listened to any of these, so I'm just going to go from the top.
Hey, Michael Butler. This is Chad Burns, the Rock and Roll Messenger.
Hey, Messenger.
Calling in for the first time. I'm a long-time listener, first-time caller.
Long time, first time.
As they say. I'm one of my favorite things is on your show is the audio comments.
Oh, really?
And,
good. A lot of people don't
show
like
reviews.
those.
So I thought I could give you my first one as that. So first of all, how are you doing tonight?
I am super great. Could not be better, except for my
That's
stomach's
fantastic.
messed up. Okay.
So recently I just went to Chicago and saw the One Hell of a Night tour.
Bad Company?
Featuring Bad Company.
And Joe Walsh.
Yes.
They came out here. I did not go.
I thought it was a great show.
I'm not a huge... I know Paul Rodgers is considered one of the most influential singers of all time and a great singer. I'm not a huge Paul Rodgers fan, but I did see Bad Company back on the Running with the Pack tour way back in the 70s. It was either Running with the Pack or Desolation Angels. I think it was Running with the Pack, though. They were good. Uriah Heep opened. Joe Walsh opened up when you saw him, Chad, I'm pretty sure, right? Yeah. Joe Walsh, fantastic. Never seen Joe Walsh live.
This outdoor pavilion type of scenario.
The amphitheater. Behind
the venue is Lake Michigan, and then behind the stage is the skyline of Chicago. It's
that's nice.
Pretty nice venue. But anyway, Joe Walsh came out first, and he had...
Get my... All right. Me. All right. My voice is a little bit shot.
Band. He probably had 4 backup singers.
Girls?
I know he had a bass player, another guitar player, which he said the guitar player's name, but I can't remember who it was. And 2 keyboard players and 2 drummers, which I thought was interesting. But they sounded amazing. He sounded amazing.
Ripping guitar player.
The guy wails on guitar, as you know, I'm sure.
Yeah. Just listen to the Confessor. Let me see if I can pull up the Confessor. That's all you need to hear from Joe Walsh.
Just went like this. He played a lot of James Gang, his own solo stuff, and he did a couple Eagles songs. But the first song he did was a James Gang song, Walk Away.
You just gun your pretty head and walk away, seems to me. All right. Fuck.
Amazing. It was a great way to start the show.
Yeah.
You the just second song they said they just learned at Soundcheck.
We just learned this one.
It's they covered Everyday People. And then he did a song called
Everyday People. Joan Jett covered it too.
Mother Says.
I don't know that one.
Then he had like a medley where he did The Bomber,
50.
Closet Queen, Bolero, and Cast Your Fate to the Wind, which I hadn't heard, but it was really good. Then he did a song called...
hold on, listen to a little bit of this song, if I can pull this up. See if I can get it to play. The Confessor. I'll let the audio comment play. I'm sorry. Sorry, Chad Burns. Rock and roll.
Turn to Stone. And the next he did...
Is that Turn to Stone? No. Is that that one?
He tribute to Glenn Frey. He said his Eagle brother, and which I'm a okay. I like the Eagles okay. They're not like my favorite band or
I
anything,
agree.
but they started showing on the big screen behind him pictures of them and the Eagles, and and they did Take It to the Limit.
Take
and it
it
had this guy like
to the
with
limit.
one of those GoPros, so you'd see his view on the screen.
Okay.
And he was like soaring through this mountain.
Hold on, listen to this song. A little bit of Confessor. Get past the filler here. Past the filler. Oh, what a great tune. Oh, yeah, it's a great. Take my word for it. Okay, a little bit more. All right, enough. Just get the Confessor. You know what? If you have the Rock and Roll Geek app, iPhone or Android app, do not look in the bonus content of this episode, because the Confessor in its entirety will not be as the bonus content, because that would just be wrong, friends. Do not look on the little app on the little bottom where it's a little white circle where it has a little E. Do not click on that, because there will not be a link where you can download the Confessor from Joe Walsh, okay? Because that would just be wrong. Back to you, Chad Burns.
Setting. So they'd show
and
that.
By the way, if I forget to not add that to the bonus content, send me an email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com, and remind me that I forgot to not add it to the bonus content, okay? Because that would have been wrong.
That's wild. And then they'd break to old pictures of the Eagles and Glenn Fry. And tell you what, it was pretty emotional, actually. And like I said, I'm not even a huge Eagles fan, but it was cool for him to do that. Then he did In the City, which he said was on the Warriors soundtrack, which I did not know that.
Right.
But they showed clips on the screen also from the Warriors movie. Then they did Funk 49, James Gang song.
Yes.
Which was amazing.
Except
for this middle part. It was kind of weird. On the breakdown where they normally have just drums, it was kind of a reggae thing, and this guy came out from the side of the stage and had like one of those t-shirt cannons. And
shot out Joe Walsh t-shirts, extra large
t-shirts out into the crowd while the whole band and the backup singers danced around the stage along with Joe Walsh. But anyway, it was a little different.
A little bad, you mean?
So then they did Life's Been Good.
Life's been good to me so far. Bow now.
It was one of my favorites. And then
was
they
that
did
on
another
what song is that?
Eagles
What
song,
album is that?
which was Life in the Fast Lane.
Life in the Fast Lane.
And then for an encore, of course, they did.
That was it?
Rocky Mountain Way.
That's it?
Which was awesome because of
the best video I ever saw was I Can Play That Rock and Roll on MTV, where he trashes the hotel room trying to kill a fly. There's so much good Joe Walsh songs that he didn't play. There is I Can Play That Rock and Roll. Let me see if I can get this to play, because it's all on the cloud. What, Walk Away? Did you see Walk Away? Yeah. Life's Been Good. That's a good one. He played that. I guess that is all of his hits, huh? Ordinary Average Guy's a good one. No Confessor, huh? All right, enough of that. All right.
Oxen. And anyway, it was great. He was funny, talking like in between the songs. Sometimes I couldn't understand him. But I know he's lived a hard life, but been sober, I think, for quite a while now. But he sounded great. His band sounded great. And so anyway, they were done. And then it was about, I would say, half hour, 45, probably 40 minutes for Bad Company start. So we walked around the venue and looked at the shirts, which they had a ton of shirts. I got a Bad Company shirt.
A classic logo.
A buddy of mine got a James Gang shirt, which was kind of cool. My wife got a Bad Company shirt. I think the shirts were like $40 each. So by the time we left the merch booth, I think we spent close to $100. So wasn't cheap, but I figure how many times am I going to get to see Bad Company and Joe Walsh together? So we went and got some beers. They were
$30 beers,
24-ounce beers, like the cans.
They were
$15 a pop.
Yeah,
which I thought was also crazy. But you know, I was at a concert, and you know, having some beers at a concert always makes it better. So anyway, I
try to sneak them in if I can.
Made it back to our seats before Bad Company started, and I would say the venue was probably 80% full. It was a great crowd. So anyway, Bad Company came out, and
Can't Get Enough of Your Love opening.
They had the original members of Paul Rogers and Simon Kirke on drums.
Yeah.
And
no Mick Ralphs. I thought Mick Ralphs was playing with them.
Know the bass player's name.
He's
But then
dead.
they had Rich Robinson from the Black Crowes filling in on guitar for Mick Ralphs.
Oh, okay. Mick Ralphs wasn't there.
I guess was unable to make the tour for whatever reason. And then on the other guitar, they had Howard Leese. And
From Heart. Original Heart
He's played
member.
with them for quite a while. But he also, I think, played for Heart.
Yeah.
But,
great guitar player.
Musically, all those guys are great musicians. But Howard Leese has probably hair down to the middle of his back, and it's completely white gray. And it just looked weird blowing in like the fan.
He used to have a beard.
Because I think I don't know.
That guy used to
I
look
just think
cool.
he looked better, maybe with shorter hair, but who am I to say?
Yeah, okay.
But anyway, as they came out, they started with Live for the Music.
What's that?
And, of course, they sounded amazing. Paul Rogers, in my opinion, is one of the greatest frontmen ever.
Frontmen, no. Not a great frontman, but a great singer. Not a front. There's a difference between frontman and singer. Frontman entertains the crowd and says shit between songs, and he's like the showman. I don't think Paul Rogers does much talking, does he?
He sounded great. But the one thing I noticed, which probably didn't notice it until I listened to your show, was he had sunglasses on, and it was, probably 9:30, 9:45 at night. So it made me laugh inside a little bit.
Sunglasses on stage, not rock and roll.
Then they did
opinion.
Gone, Gone, Gone.
I don't know that one either.
And
Gone. I think, well, maybe I do.
the third, they did Feel Like Making Love.
I feel like making ba-dum-bum.
Loved.
Yeah.
And then they did Electric Land after that.
I don't know that one.
Followed that up with Man Needs a Woman.
I don't know that one.
And then they did Ready for Love.
Not one of my favorites. That's a free tune, and Mott the Hoople did it too. Wait a minute. Is that a free tune? I know Mott the Hoople did it. I'm not crazy about that one. Mick Ralphs was in Mott the Hoople, so.
Which is one of my favorites, but I did not realize that it was a Mott the Hoople cover. I always heard it from the first album.
Mick Ralphs was in Mott the Hoople.
Didn't realize that it was a cover song that they had put on there. But anyway, I know Mick Ralphs was in Mott the Hoople, but anyway. So then they did Burning Sky.
The sky is burning.
Then they did Moving On.
Well, I'm moving on down the line. You know, I forgot to thank the donors. I'll do that after this audio comment.
And then they did Run with the Pack.
I like that one. That's my favorite Bad Company tune. I'm running with the pack. That's a good one. Paul Rogers plays keyboard. They pull up the keyboards. At least when I saw him back in the 70s, they pulled out a little electric piano, put it in the middle of the stage, and Paul Rogers played it. I'm running with the pack.
And they did Shooting Star. And
Don't you know?
Shooting Star behind the on the big screen behind them. They had pictures of the bass player that passed away, Boz Burrell.
Boz Burrell, great bass player. Great bass player.
The guitar player from Free, which right now I'm blanking on his name, he was on there also.
I don't know his name either.
So
not a huge Free fanatic.
It was pretty cool actually to see that. And they did Can't Get Enough.
Can't get bound.
And they did Rock and Roll Fantasy.
Rock and Roll Fantasy Featherwitch does that. Yeah.
Walked off. And they came back for 2 encores. They did Bad Company, where Paul Rogers was on the piano standing and playing while he sang, which was pretty cool. And then they came back out again and did Rock Steady.
Rock Steady.
Paul Rogers wailed on it. But the only criticism I probably have of Paul Rogers, which it's hard for me to find one, is a lot of times on the choruses, he hardly sang.
Oh, really?
It was kind of like crowd participation.
Oh, okay.
Which is fine. And usually he did 1 or 2.
I think his voice is probably just fine.
Probably a long tour and trying to save his voice. But anyway, he sounded great. And Rich Robinson, I was actually really surprised how good of a guitar player he is, because I know they always had other lead guitarists in Black Crowes, but he probably did half the solos, and I was pretty impressed by him. So that's pretty much it. One thing I was going to ask you,
okay.
A friend of mine says he thinks Paul Rogers is totally overrated, thinks he's just average and ordinary. But
well, like I said, I'm not a huge Paul Rogers fan. I think he's kind of dull on stage. I know he's considered extremely influential and is widely known that he has one of the greatest voices in rock. He has an original voice. I'm not a huge Paul Rogers fan, so I can see what your friend says, but a lot of people love Paul Rogers. When he played with Queen, awful, just did not fit.
Totally 100% disagree with, but thought maybe you could settle that argument for us. And
like I said, you either think he's overrated or you love Paul Rogers. I know a lot of people who love Paul Rogers. I'm not the biggest Paul Rogers fan, but I can see why people like him. He does have a great original voice, but he's a little boring to me.
I appreciate your time, Michael. Have a great show. Thanks again for taking my call. And stay frosty.
Stay frosty, friend. You too can leave an audio comment or show review. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Or you can email it to me like Chad Burns did, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right, why don't we thank some donors? Because the donors are the thing that keeps this show going, friends. Without your donations, this show will die a horrible, putrid, shitting in a plastic bag, stench-filled, tapeworm parasites living in your stomach, chewing up your insides and giving you the worst smelling gas of all time, death. All right. Let me find some music to play in the background. How about Wolf Hoffman, the guitar player from Accept, has a solo album out called Headbanger Symphony. So let's play something from that. How about Night on Bald Mountain? First of all, I would like to thank Adam Turetsky for saving the show by sending me a new computer, a new used computer. I would not be doing this show if it were not for Adam Turetsky, so thank you, Adam. I take this sip of this fine Tecate to you. There's several ways you can donate. One is by Patreon, patreon.com/RNRGeek, like my good friend Chiaki Hinahara of the Metal Moment podcast does. I went to see Baby Metal with Chiaki last week. We had a good time, went out to Japanese dinner beforehand, and then went to see a Japanese metal band. It was a good time. Chiaki donates $5 every episode through Patreon. Thank you to Brian Springer, also on Patreon. He donates $5 every episode. Thank you to Bruce McMillan, donates $2 every episode. Thank you to my podcast mentor and co-host of Mad at Dad, which is now up to date, $5 every episode. Thank you to Matthew Hunt for the $2 every episode on Patreon. Thank you to Eric Stowell for the $2. Thank you to Robert Harvey for the $2. Thank you to Corey Kohler for the $1. And thank you to John Richardson for the $1. If you donate $1 every episode, that's a huge help, friends. If you're not donating, I would very much appreciate it. If everybody donated, I'd be rich. I don't know about that, but certainly would help. Another way to donate, you can send me something from my Amazon wish list, like Brendan Jing did. He sent me a drink holder for the mic stand, so I can put my Tecate. I can put the drink holder on a mic stand or a drum riser or drum thing or anything like that, and I can stick my Tecate right in it so I don't spill beers on stage. Thank you so much, Brendan Jing. That was very nice of you. There's an Amazon wish list link on rockandrollgeek.com. Also, you can donate through PayPal. Thank you to the new donor, Mark Erlocker, for the $5. Thank you to Dean Gillespie for the $5. Thanks to James Venners for the $10. Thanks to Kelly Mitch. What else? Hold on, let me see what else we got in here on the Headbanger Symphony. How about Je crois entendre encore? The classical metal album. I think it's all instrumental. That's too soft. What about this one? Oh boy. All right. How about Madam Butterfly? Oh boy. How about Air on the G-String? All right, let's mellow out. Thank you to Kelly Mitchell for the $5. Thank you to Richard Strom for the $5. Thank you to Richard Fusey for the $5. For the $2. Thanks to Andrew Howell for $5. Thank you, Dale Roller, for the $5. Thank you, Kelly Mitchell, for $5. Thanks to Jason Shepard for the $10. Thanks to Christopher Del Grande for the $5. Thank you to Jerry Carroll for the $5. Thanks to Sigmund Hydasher for the $5. Thanks to Todd Cunningham for the $10. Friend of the show, Todd Cunningham, a friend of mine. Thanks to John Offenlock for the $5. Thanks to Lassie Sadvighagen for the $2. Thanks to Jeffrey Caniparoli for the $2, who is going to be helping me with the Hard Rock and Heavy Metal Hall of Fame. Thanks to Stephen Mascord for the $5. Thanks to John Skiller for the $2. Thanks to BJ Lisco for the $10. Thanks to Michael Vittoria for the $2. Thanks to friend of the show, Ralph Miller, and friend of mine for the $10, who also gave me a ticket to Rick Springfield last week. I went to see Rick Springfield. Great show. Great show. Romantics open. Thank you to Bradford Page for the $2. Thanks to Chris Stanley for the $10. Thanks to School of Podcasting, Dave Jackson School of Podcasting for the $10. Thank you to Peter Spark for the $2. Thanks to Michael Mack, friend of the show, for the $2. Thanks to John Baveri for the $5. Thanks to Patrick Shanahan for $20. Thanks, Patrick. Thanks to Spine Tecate to you. Thanks to Chris Harrison for the $10. Thanks to Mario Zoth for the $2. Thanks to Paul Fondry for the $10. Thanks to David Ivey for $5. Thanks to Adrian Boschon, Bosch Rock in the forums and on the Rock and Roll Geek Facebook page, which I didn't start, but I will accept you if you send me a request. Thanks to, let me back it up. How about Skurzo? Thanks to Paul Fondry for the $10. Thanks to Jeff Thielicki for the $10. Thanks to David Ivey for the $5. Thanks to Adrian Boschon for the $2. Thanks to Keenan O'Meara for the $5. Thanks to John Tennis for the $5. Thanks to Greg Long for the $5. Thanks to Dave Franco for the $10. Is that it? Did I thank everybody? I'm not sure if I did. Maybe I did. Did I thank Chris Stanley? Yeah, I think I did. Okay, thank you to everybody who donated. Like I said, without your donations, this show would die a horrible, putrid, stench-filled, shitting in a bag death. All right, it's enough. Thank you to everybody for donating. I take it with this fine Tecate to you. Seriously, your donations keep the show alive. All right, how about this comment?
Hey Butler, I just want to say thanks so much for putting on a great show. I just searched rock and roll on iTunes, and it's the first one that popped up. And
If you go to iTunes and search rock and roll Geek Show is the first one that comes up. That's nice. Well, this guy found me through that. That's nice. Thanks, man.
Enjoyed listening to it. So I just finished your episode with Joe Klein. I think you're an okay interviewer and
okay. I'm an okay, not really that great. Kind of suck actually.
Klein was a very interesting guy, but this question isn't really related to anything you talked about, but I'm 19 years old.
19 years old, carrying the torch of rock.
I feel like all the greats, I was raised on like Van Halen and Kiss, so maybe not that great. And I'm just looking if you know any new rock bands that are coming out or any old rock I should listen to.
Well, I just played Airborne to start off the show. You should definitely check out Airborne. There's a band called The Tip. That's my favorite band going right now, which I'm going to play later on in this show. And I'm also going to be interviewing Benny Carl from The Tip, which I can't wait. Check out The Tip. Check out Bridget West and the Desperate Hopefuls, which I'm also going to be playing on this show. Bridget West will be coming on the show soon. The Wild Hearts is a must-listen. What is his name? He never gave his name. 19-year-old rock and roll geek. There's just a few.
I'm just going through the motions right now, listening to Led Zeppelin and just progressively getting into older rock.
That's good. That's nothing wrong with that.
What you said on the show is great. Windio sounds amazing, and thanks for putting on a great show. Okay, man. Bye.
Thanks, 19-year-old rock and roll geek. I appreciate that, friend. It's very nice to hear him. If you're 19 years old and listen to the Rock and Roll Geek Show, give me a call, friend. Area code 706-621-ROCK. Or send me an email like he did, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right, here's another show. Production. Good. Let's hear this.
Okay.
And now it's time for another rock and roll show review.
Nice.
Rock and Roll Geek Show.
Nice. It's the Rock and Roll Geek train wreck.
That, my friends, was inspiration from the last Rock and Roll Geek Show. My ode to Joe Klein.
There you
I
go.
did the best I could, damn it. Hello, Michael Butler. This is Steve Crocker,
Hey,
the
Steve
Rock and Roll Roadrunner. Coming to you from
boy.
Atlanta, GA.
All right.
Well, Michael, per your request, I'm going to do a review of Whitford St. Holmes here, playing at the Masquerade, which you're familiar with. I think the last time you were in town,
I believe I played there with Exodus and Body Count, didn't I?
Played there with Exodus and Ice-T, so you know the venue very well. It's pretty big. It's got 3 bars, Heaven, Hell, Purgatory, with Heaven being the biggest venue on the top floor. Now, as you would imagine, I would figure this was going to be a pretty big show. A lot of people were going to show up for this, but that was not the case, my friends. Oh, no. Just a quick side note, I was at the Masquerade the night before to see Black Flag, and the place was packed.
Now, wait a minute.
That was a cool...
Not Black Flag, it was Flag, right? With Keith Morris?
Show. I got to tell you, I had a great time. Actually, they called it Flag because Greg Ginn probably owns the copyright to the name Black Flag, so they just called it Flag.
Right.
But nevertheless,
Bob Stevenson on drums, right?
It was a killer show, and they played to a packed house. So when I get to the venue, I go upstairs and I go to the back to get a beer, and I'm looking back up front towards the stage, and there's only about 20 people in the whole place. The place is virtually empty. So the first band comes on about 8 o'clock. I forget the name of the band, but it was pretty uneventful. It was a cover band that played mostly Led Zeppelin covers, and they kind of thought they were Led Zeppelin. I wasn't impressed. I normally don't see cover bands opening up for headliners like Whitford St. Holmes, or even at the Masquerade, you don't see cover bands playing there. In any case, I was happy to be there, so I just was drinking my PBRs, waiting for the place to fill up. But as the band kept playing more and more songs, a few people trickled in here and there, and then they were done by like 8:30, quarter to 9, and they were setting up for the headliner. And I'm looking around, and there's still, like, I counted like 50 people in the club, and this place is big, you know, so it's like, what is going on?
They were probably bummed,
and then
right?
I found out what was going on. Turns out that the Black Matters protest cut off all the major arteries getting into the city.
Are you kidding me, man? Are you kidding? What a bunch of assholes.
Of Whitford St. Holmes were coming from the suburbs. So, A, they were either scared to come in the city, or B, they couldn't get downtown because the protests were blocking all the arteries getting into...
Thanks a lot, dudes.
Where they needed to get, or 3, it was a...
No, nothing against whatever cause they're protesting, which basically they're probably just trying to fucking cause trouble. They stop people from seeing a Whitford St. Holmes show. Shame on you, Black Lives Matters people. Shame on you. If a bunch of... if a bunch of rock and roll lives matters guys blocked access to I don't know, the reunion of Public Enemy or whatever, you'd be pissed off, man. All right, enough of that. But I feel bad for Whitford St. Holmes, man. I don't care who it is protesting. If they're protesting anything, you're blocking people from going to see the Whitford St. Holmes show. That sucks ass.
But in any case, by the time they hit the stage, there was about 75 people. Really, really sad. It was interesting to see the expressions on the band's face as they came out on stage to look at an empty venue. I think maybe the crowd was like 2 rows thick. So their view was probably the empty club, the bar in the back, and the merch table. They had a perfect view of that. And you could kind of tell for a second they were like going, what the fuck is going on? But, you know, the show must go on, so they just started to rock out and do their set. One interesting note is, while I was waiting for the band to come on, the roadies were moving around cases, and on the left of the stage, we saw a case that definitely looked like it was Slash's. And I saw the case, it had a stenciled image, his logo. And there was a guy next to me, and I asked him about that. He said, yeah, Slash played in Nashville last night. He's supposed to play here tonight, too, on the last date of the tour. So we were pretty stoked, thinking, man, there's like 75 people, and we're going to get to see Slash play with Whitford St. Holmes. This ought to be killer. But as it turned out, he was also one of the people that couldn't get to the club, and we never got to see Slash. But I am almost positive that had there not been a protest march downtown, the place would have been packed, and we would have saw Slash jamming out with those guys, which would have been incredible. Leave it to politics to always fuck you in the ass.
Yeah, exactly.
In any case, the set was excellent. They played just about everything from the first two Whitford St. Holmes albums.
Nice.
And they played a couple of Ted Nugent songs, including Stranglehold, and
Hey Baby.
They played a couple of Aerosmith songs, I think from Rocks.
Oh.
But I can't remember which ones.
Did they play Nobody's Fault? Last Child, probably.
Thinking, hey. The one thing that really I noticed more than anything else is that I couldn't believe how old they looked. I mean, I hadn't seen Ted Nugent in like 5 years.
They looked that bad.
And I hadn't seen Aerosmith since like 1987, I want to say. I don't mean to say they look bad. They just looked old. But they sounded great nevertheless. And then after the show, they came over to the Merc table, and I got a CD, and they both signed it, which I thought was really cool for the collection.
Yeah.
So there you have it. Whitford St. Holmes ending their tour in grand style in Atlanta, Georgia, in front of 75 people at the Masquerade.
Bummer.
And that's the way it was. Until next time, this is Steve Crocker, the Rock and Roll Roadrunner, signing off. Hey, remember, kids, rock and roll matters.
There you go. That's right. Rock and roll matters, motherfuckers. All right. What else do I have here? You know, they didn't come to San Francisco or even anywhere on the West Coast. That sucks. All right. How about this audio comment here?
Hey, Michael. Hope you're doing well. This is Rock and Roll Zach calling in with a show report. I managed to see Billy Idol play at the.
I think Zach is a new donor. I think I think that's Mark Urlacher. Mark Urlacher or Zach Urlacher. I don't know. I think he's a donor though.
The Cherry Festival last night. That was Sunday, July 3rd, and it was a good show. We had second row seats, which were honestly not that expensive, and so I did shoot some video and get a few nice photos. The opening band was called Civil Twilight from South Africa.
Never heard of them.
And they were kind of a mix of U2 with maybe a little bit of Peter Gabriel and a little Paul Simon Graceland era.
Doesn't sound like my thing.
They couldn't really get the crowd going. The sun was in everybody's eyes.
I can't blame
it was too hot or
boring. Too boring, maybe.
Beer yet, I don't know. But they did a nice cover of Led Zeppelin's "Immigrant Song" that got people going. And then they played a new song called "When Am I Going to See You Again?" and that got people up on their feet. It was a good band. I'd certainly go see them in a smaller venue, and they are touring this summer. Billy Idol came on around 9 o'clock, very loud. He played "Shock to the System" to start. Also,
I don't know
"Can't
that
Break Me Down," which was from the new 2014 album, Kings and Queens of the
Yeah,
Underground.
I don't like that album.
I actually think that album is pretty underrated. It's got a lot of really good updated Billy Idol sound, but still doesn't stray too far from the classic sound.
I think Billy Morrison had a lot to do with the writing of that album. I was hoping that it was going to be more like a kind of like the second the second Generation X. What was it called? It's got. I forget the name of this. Why can't I think of the second Generation X album? You know which one I'm talking about.
He played all the hits that you would expect. So Eyes Without a Face, Daytime Drama, a little bit of Gen X, King Rocker. Steve Stevens, his guitar player, is an awesome
ripping
shredder.
Guitar player.
He did some crazy stuff, some flamenco, a little bit of Yes, Roundabout, along with some licks from Led Zeppelin, Over the Hills and Far Away, and Stairway to Heaven, and just some crazy psychedelic guitar stuff. There was a little bit of a wrong turn, though, when the band started playing Rebel Yell. And Billy just train wrecked the entire song on stage in front of this audience. I don't know what was going on. He was singing off key. And they got a couple verses into it, and he just stopped and tried to start all over. Second version, honestly, wasn't that much better. He left a lot of the singing to the audience, which was fine. Then they ran off stage, presumably to regroup, came back after a couple minutes with White Wedding, drum solo, and Moni Moni. It was good, but they didn't really finish on a high note with full confidence of the band. Still, it was a good show. I got a couple more shows coming up later this week. I'll try to give you some other reports. And if anyone wants to check out the photos or videos, they're posted at www.guitarvibe.com. Meanwhile,
there you go, guitarvibe.com. Stay frosty,
friend.
friend. Thank you for the donation to it, friend. I really appreciate it. All right, we're blazing through these. Why don't we take a break? I'm going to play a song. All right, where's my playlist here? How about some brand new Tip? I actually got the entire new Tip album, which is called Sailor's Grave, which I'm not, pardon me, I'm bourbon is fine to cut there. I'm not allowed to play it just yet because it's not out yet. I was told to please not play it, but there is a new song that they have made that they put the video out. So I'll play the one that they have already released out there. I don't want to get into a thing like I did with the Biters and leak a song. So I'm going to play one that's already out. This song is called Rock and Roll Heaven. Brand new The Tip. Yes, it's badass. you go. Brand new tip, Rock and Roll Heaven. I've heard the whole album. The whole album is fucking rocking, man. Rocking. It's my new favorite band, as you may or may not know. They are great. All right. Another show review. Here we go. Here we go.
Michael Butler. It's been a long time, friend. How the hell are you?
I'm super great. Couldn't be better, friend.
That's great to hear. It's the Rock and Roll Frankfurter here,
Frank.
calling in with a show review from last night's Rick Springfield and Romantic show.
I was at that show. Were you in the Bay Area? Were you at the Montalvo Arts Center or whatever the place was called? That was a great venue, man.
Bucolic, Saratoga, California.
Yes, that's right. I was there.
And actually, I don't need to do a show review because the rock and roll geek himself was spotted at the show.
There you go.
With his special lady friend.
No, I was not with a lady friend. I don't know what you're talking about, man. I was just by myself. Maybe the ladies were talking to me. Maybe they were coming. Maybe they recognized Michael Butler. I don't know what you're talking about. All right.
I didn't want to disturb the rock and roll geek in his natural habitat.
Yeah.
But real quick, my 2 cents. So I was actually there to see the Romantics more so than Springfield, but yeah, I thought they were just okay. The guitar tones I thought were a little bit weak.
The volume was a little bit weak, but they were fun. I liked them. The volume was not very loud.
Holy shit, Wally Palmer looks like a linebacker.
Yeah, he does. He's gained some weight.
But I did think replacement drummer, I think his name is
Brad Elvis.
Great
drummer. Great drummer.
Damn good.
I was hoping it would be Jimmy Marino, but it was, or Clem Burke, but Brad Elvis did not disappoint.
Entertaining. But kind of bummed they didn't sneak in an Empty Hearts tune, which I was kind of sort of hoping they might do that.
Yeah, actually, their set got cut short. I looked at their set list, and they had to cut out like 3 or 4 songs from their set list.
So yeah, overall, just okay. And then on to the Rick Springfield show, which I have to say, if you're a single dude, that is the place to be.
It was all women.
I think the girl to guy ratio was
I think it was just, I wasn't with a girl. It was just somebody, a Rick Springfield fan. They were everywhere, man. If you're a single dude, which I'm not, that is the place to pick up chicks. There were MILFs. I mean, MILFs. 12, I would guess, well, if you were to do the bathroom, the line to the bathroom was about 100 women long, and it was maybe 5 men long. So what's that? So that would be like 80% women. Was that right? No, 95% women, 5% men. That's about right? I think so. Yeah, that's about right.
100 to 1.
100 to 5.
So lots of middle-aged housewives looking to get some.
They were
so the show itself I thought was pretty damn entertaining. Springfield, dude is 66 years old, which is crazy.
He came out during Human Touch. He went into the audience and he came into my section, and I shook his hand and he fell right into me, and he stumbled, and I caught him and saved the guy's life. I saved Rick Springfield's life, motherfuckers.
Thought it was great. Good set list. Obviously, he was running around the venue into the audience.
Yeah.
Very, very entertaining show. Thought the band was tight, especially the drummer.
You're not going to tell me you like that bass player, are you? Because that guy was a dork.
Don't know his name, but thought he was good. Not sure what's up with the bassist, dude.
Exactly. Exactly. He was a fucking dork.
Kind of looked more like he was straight out of like a 90s metal rap band.
He was horrible.
With the neon green strings and the whole
5-string bass.
Angus Young outfit. I don't know, man. I'm thinking that's more a Michael Butler kind of dream gig.
Yeah.
So what are you waiting for, Frank?
Exactly. Oh, please, man. I'd be in that. Could you imagine being in Rick Springfield's band, the Pussy Shrapnel? The pussy you get just by his cast-offs, man. They got to go through you to get to Rick.
All right, over to you, Rock and Roll Geek. What did you think?
I loved it. I could have done without the Taylor Swift song and without the Katy Perry song. But other than that, it was great. He played Human Touch, my favorite Rick Springfield tune. Do I have the American Heartbreak playing Human Touch? I think we have a cover of that. Let me see if I can find that. Let me search for Human Touch here. Human songs. Let's see. Human Touch. Here you go. American Heartbreak. Human Touch. See if it plays. My favorite Rick Springfield tune. Yeah. If you have the American Heartbreak collection, that's in there somewhere. I think that never came out. May have been on a Rick Springfield tribute. I don't know. All right. There's another. We got a couple more comments left. Like 3 more show reviews left, or 2 more. 2 more. Who is it? Hello, caller.
Hey, Michael. It's Chuck Spear.
Oh, hey, Chuck.
On my way back from the Heart, Joan Jett, and Cheap Trick show.
Okay,
so
good.
I thought I would do the literal roving reporter.
Yes,
while
the Great
I was
Oracle.
100 miles back home to Terre Haute.
Drove 100 miles to
do the
see that
review
show.
while it's fresh in my mind. Tonight is July 17th, Sunday, so this is hot off the press. I just left the concert about 45 minutes ago. It was the 3rd date of the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame tour, I think is what they called it. So you had Hearts, which is recently inducted, Joan Jett, who had been inducted a few years ago, and obviously Cheap Trick this year. So really good, strong bill, obviously. 3rd city of the tour. Cheap Trick being the first band on. They started at 6:45.
6:45.
So that was kind of good if it started early, because it gave us a little extra time to play. Tickets at 7 o'clock starting time. So there was a lot of people still filing in when they came.
Wait a minute.
It
said 7 o'clock showtime on the tickets, and it started 15 minutes early. That's not good. Especially if you're there to see Cheap Trick.
They started right at 6:42. And with the intro music that they've had for many years.
Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest band in the fucking
right
world.
Hello there, as usual. And, but, second song was definitely a surprise. A little bit of when they played for a while and then they dropped it, now they're playing it again, I guess, is Hot Love. Hot
Love, if you want it.
It's a favorite, so I was happy to hear that.
Okay.
She started out, pretty straight ahead rock with Hello there, and then Hot Love. So you've got 2 hard rock songs. And the third song in the set is Rick comes up to the microphone and said, this is a song that you might recognize. It's off of Budokan. And they played Come On, Come On, which is normal. But
nice. It's one of my favorites.
Kind of hard rocking song. None of them huge hits. So the set started out pretty darn good, really.
Yeah. Come On, Come On is one of my favorites. What they used to that used to be their second song back in the 70s at every show. And then California Man. Actually, I like California Man. The Butlers play that tune.
Favorite, but good crowd reaction. They had a little bit of awkwardness at the beginning of that song. Like tempo was a little slow.
Actually,
tempo was a little slow and Come On too. So it drug a little bit. Being a drummer, you kind of pay attention to that stuff.
Okay.
But after California Man, this was kind of a nugget, I thought. They don't play it very much. Again, off of Budokan, they played Look Out.
I've heard them play Look Out a few times, actually. Look out, look out, look out.
Rick comes up to the microphone and said, we have a new album out. On the video screen, they put a picture of the album, Bang Zoom Crazy Hello, and he said, this is the new song off of that. And they did not play the David Bowie song, nor the first single. They actually played Roll Me. So that was kind of a pleasant surprise. And
all right, what's Roll Me?
I don't know.
Let me see if I can find Roll Me. I don't remember that song. Let me pull up Bang Zoom Hello. Hold on a second. Hear a little bit of Roll Me here. Oh, Undercover of the Night. Oh, okay. Yeah, that one's okay.
I was a little upset. He kind of undersold it. He's like, well, this is off our new album. And, well, if you don't like it, don't go to the beer line. Just put up with it for 2 minutes and 57 seconds or something like that. It's like, really? Come on. That's a great song. Don't put yourself down there, buddy. So after Roll Me, they intro into with Tom Peterson strumming the
bass solo,
and playing those beautiful chord voicings. And the intro to so obviously
what is that one? What is that? I don't get it.
I don't think it's one of yours, but I love it. Sorry. And then next song was Tom Peterson kind of did a bass solo, then went into Waiting for the Man.
Waiting for my man.
For the last 2 years instead of doing I Know What I Want. So, yeah, good kiss pace, but again, that one's getting a little bit dull too. After that, then you start getting into the greatest hits as the set is starting to tail end. You got The Flame, I Know What I Want, Green Police, Surrender, and Good Night Now. So not the greatest ending, but it certainly started out pretty strong. Except some of the songs had little tempo issues, and then when Rick threw out the album flat for Surrender, it flew back and hit Robin right in the arm, and he kind of flinched his arm and looked at Rick like his little honk top at him. Kind of funny.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
I would say crowd reaction to Cheap Trick was about a 5. Not real into it.
Huh. Well, it was a 6:45 p.m.
Just because they come around to Indiana so much, but
I find that hard to believe.
Got just a moderate crowd reaction. By the time their set was done, everybody was there. Which, by the way, the crowd was near 20,000 people.
That's a good crowd.
Cheap Trick ended up doing as an opener 1 hour, which is pretty great. Then there's like a 15-minute switchover, and Joan Jett came on. And again, I thought it was weird. She walked on stage. Obviously, it's still kind of light outside. But she came out, and her and Dougie Needles, her guitar player, started tuning their guitars for like a minute. I'm like, really? Can't you do that before you come on?
Uh-huh.
So it's kind of an anticlimactic start. But great set list. So it started out with Bad Reputation, which is a real rocker.
Typical opener. She usually opens with that.
And their drummer, Mike McCormick, was real straight ahead.
I'm surprised. What happened to Tommy Price?
So much as I miss Tommy Price, it's great to have a substitute, younger guy, but he was tight, man. That dude was doing 8th notes and 16th notes on floor toms. I mean, just super accurate. He was like a machine. So, good stuff. So, Joan comes out in purple pants, and she's got a jacket on, like a purple, like, jumpsuit. So, after the first song, she takes that off. So, it's just a purple jumpsuit. And she says, here's a song you might recognize. And she played Cherry Bomb, which actually I was surprised that the crowd sang along to it. But maybe from watching it, that video was on VH1 Classic a lot. And she used the video screen pretty well. Cheap Trick hardly used it at all. Just their checkerboard logo, when Big Bang Zoom Crazy Hello came out, you know, it was on there. But all in all, pretty underused by Cheap Trick. But Joan had like different backdrops for every song, like a subway or, you know, a deli or whatever, and it was pretty cool. One, I think she had a roller coaster in the background, like a Coney Island or something. So anyway, after Cherry Bomb's second song, Do You Want to Touch Me? And the crowd was really into it. I mean, obviously all straight ahead, Flatner had 3-minute driving songs. Then fourth song, she went into TMI up on Unvarnished.
TMI, it's okay.
Then,
it's all right.
She introduced the fifth song again. And said this is another Runaway song you might or might not recognize from the 70s called You Drive Wild.
You drive me wild. Yeah. You drive me wild. I think that's on Queens of Noise, I think.
Introduced Light of Day.
Just around the corner to the light of day. Yes, she used to play that all the time and she stopped playing it. I like that one.
5 years ago when I saw her with Rick in Champaign, Illinois. Then she did another new song off of Unvarnished, Make It Back. And then into some classics, Love Is Pain.
My favorite, one of my favorite Joan Jett songs off of Love Is, I Love Rock and Roll.
Then she announced Any Weather, which is was the first single, obviously, up on Unvarnished.
That's not the first, is it? That's the first?
She wrote with Dave Grohl, the Foo Fighters.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
And then closed the set out with I Love Rock and Roll, Crimson Clover, I Hate Myself for Loving You, and Everyday People. So she ended up playing 55 minutes, which was less than 2 tracks. Kind of interesting. Then there was like a 20-minute switchover, and Heart came on. Better Light Show, obviously.
Because they were the headliner,
show,
yes.
And it was starting to get dark. Hey, Michael, it's Chuck Spear, Rock and Roll Loser.
Yeah, you only have, if you call a show review, you got 10 minutes to leave the show review.
Roving reporter. I think the 9 minutes elapsed. So
yeah, it did.
I think it was about halfway through Joan Jett's set. So I'll just do a quick review on that to make sure you got everything. Bad Reputation, Cherry Bomb, Do You Want to Touch Me, TMI off of Unvarnished, the newer album. You Drive Me Wild, the old Runaways tune. Light of Day from the soundtrack, Light of Day. I think that's about the time.
She didn't play the French song? I thought you texted me and said she played the French song.
But Make It Back from Unvarnished was the second song off that album that they did. Then Love Is Pain, which was my favorite of the night. French song, Any Weather. Which
French song. There you go, yeah.
That she wrote with Dave Grohl. I Love Rock and Roll. Crimson and Clover, I Hate Myself for Loving You, and she's been closing with Everyday People for a while as well. So, really great set. People were really into it. A lot of girls there.
A lot of lesbians.
55-minute set, which was weird that was less than Chief Church set, which was an hour. So, that's a 20-minute break there, and then Heart came on. And they had, the intro tape for a couple of minutes, and they came on with Open Up Wild Child, which I saw, I want to say Brigade, maybe, or Bad Animals or something. It was a hit 80s song. Then Magic Man sounds great as ever. Nancy now has really long, kind of blondish hair. Wig, maybe? Extensions, maybe? It almost looks too perfect, but she's still gorgeous and really interesting. Okay. And Anne has lost like 35 to 40 pounds. She is almost normal looking. I mean,
wow, almost normal looking. That's good. She's almost normal looking.
Slimmest I've seen her since probably the 80s, so that's great. I'm really happy for her.
Yeah.
And she looks a lot happier, and she just got remarried, so I think she's kind of on a health regimen a little better. So that's awesome. Of course, she still sings awesome. So after Magic Man, What About Love? So another 80s.
What About Love?
MTV hit. Then Baby Lestrange, which that's a really cool song. I think it's kind of underrated song.
I like that one.
Then another 80s ballad, These Dreams. That kind of takes a lead from those songs. They're kind of sappy. They had so many co-writers. But then they did a new song called Two, like the number 2. And they really utilized the video screens really well. Obviously, they're the headliner. A lot of real colorful backdrops. That song had like a couple husband and wife or whatever in the background, like dancing around or whatever. A little cheesy, but kind of a decent song, real ballady. Then back into the classic, straight on, Take It Out. Then they've got a new album which has some remakes of older songs and a couple new songs. And the CD's called Beautifully Broken, I think. That's actually the song that they played off of that. Besides two was Beautiful Broken. Then it was Hit, Alone, Crazy on You. Closed out the first set with Barracuda. And dude, I had a 2-hour drive, so I got to get up in like 4 hours. So I chucked on out of there.
Well, they played two sets?
They had one or two more songs left in their set. But all three bands sounded fantastic. A couple little, you know, it's the third day of the tour with just a couple times Rob and Rick weren't really in sync, which is surprising. It seems like they're always tight even when they don't practice. And Joan Jett, her band going out for the first song and walking out the first 30 to 45 seconds tuning her guitar instead of, coming in with some big grand entrance, jumping around and right into power chords. So, but, I mean, still third day of the tour, what do you expect? So, and Heart was, sounded really tight. There was one spot where Ann and Nancy were like harmony vocals. I don't know if it's Ann or Nancy, but I think Ann sang the wrong line, and her and Nancy kind of looked at her funny. But other than that, I mean, just minor quibbles. But other than that, great night, and 20,000 people, just a really good turnout. And my tickets were $150, and I think if you saw my picture, I was about 20 rows back right in the center. And I think lawn tickets were like 40 or 50, and then upper pavilion was like 75 or 100. So for them to have 20,000 people on a Sunday night was pretty good. So anyway, hopefully that wasn't too long of a review, but lots of interesting things going on. And, early on the Hall of Fame, Rock and Roll Fame, Hall of Fame tour, I think they're calling it a trifecta or something. So anyway, definitely would recommend the show. All three bands sounded excellent. Talk to you later.
All right, there you go. You too can leave me a show review or audio comment. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. I think that's it. Or you can just send me an email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. All right, one more show review left.
Hey, Michael Butler, how you doing?
I'm super great. Couldn't be better.
Zach calling in with my second show report for this week.
All right.
Tuesday night, I went to see what used to be called Zappa Plays Zappa.
Yeah, I heard Dweezil Zappa on a podcast on Mark Maron. I didn't listen to the whole episode, so I haven't not listened to. I didn't hear what happened with him and his brother, or the Frank Zappa estate. I think they cease and desisted, didn't they?
It's called Dweezil Zappa Plays Wherever the Heck He Wants, the cease and desist tour, because Dweezil is in a big fight, rather public fight, with the Zappa Family Trust, of which he is only a minority owner. You can read about that on Rolling Stone or on the New York Times if you want. But on to the show. This is the 50th anniversary of Frank Zappa's first album, Freak Out, which was a pretty crazy album in its day. A lot of garage rock, but also a lot of very weird musical influences in there. So they played several songs from that, the frenetic Help I'm a Rock, to the more soulful song Doreen, to musically adventurous song like the Illinois Enema Bandit and Eat That Question. I would say he got the best reaction from the audience with the instrumental numbers, the big soaring guitar solos, and Dweezil is a monster on the guitar, and Frank Zappa was just a legendary composer and just some really beautiful music. Even if you're not into Frank Zappa, there's a lot of really interesting stuff there. But the show took a little bit of a detour after about an hour. And Dweezil talked a little bit about the fight he has with the Zappa Family Trust, and presumably to show that he wasn't capitalizing on the fame of his father and just his music, he played a medley of 80s songs. And this was complicated stuff because they were playing songs for like 10 to 15 seconds back to back with key changes, tempo changes, without ever missing a beat. It was kind of cool to hear them throw in like Tom Sawyer, Spirit of the Radio, Another One Bites the Dust, Under Pressure, Billie Jean, Like a Virgin, Jack and Diane, I Want Candy, Walking on Sunshine, Stray Cat Strut, blah, 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 blah. But it went on for a while. And then it went on even further. And then it must have been 20, 25 minutes. I counted up 75 songs, presumably to show that they could master any kind of music. But honestly, I don't think that's really what the audience was there for.
They wanted Zappa, right?
Frank Zappa audience who wanted to hear Frank Zappa's music, not a K-Tel commercial of 80s hits. After that, they came back and did a couple more Frank Zappa numbers, You Are What You Is and Keep It Greasy. Overall, it was a good show. I really recommend that even if you're not a huge fan of Frank Zappa, there's a level of musicianship there that is truly outstanding, and Dweezil is keeping that music alive for a lot of people. I don't know what the Zappa Family Trust is doing, but it doesn't seem that they're all on the same page. Okay, it was a good show, and I got one more show coming up Friday night. One of your favorite bands. I'll let you guess who that might be. Take care, Michael.
I have no idea. All right. Thank you very much, friends, for all the show reviews and audio comments. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me that you're calling into the show. That's a lot to get through, but we did it, friends. We did it. All right. I have some conversations with friends of the show, with friends coming up on future shows. That's probably what's going to be next, either Bridget West or somebody else coming up soon as well. Thank you so much for listening. It means a lot to me. I'm at a loss for word. It's a train wreck again. What am I going to say? What was I going to say? I forgot. Thanks for listening. Thank you for donating. Thank you for thanking you, and thank you for being yourself. All right. I'm frazzled. I take 1 week off and I'm out of it already. All right, let's close out with a song. I'm going to play brand new Bridget West, since she's going to be coming on soon to do a track by track of her new album, Bridget West and the Desperate Hopefuls. It's called In the Blood. Here is a song called, I can't play everything on this. I have heard this whole album and I like it a lot as well. Here's a song called Permanent Ink. Thanks for listening, friends. rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Area code 706-621-ROCK. That's area code 706-621-7625. Send me an email, rockandrollgeek@gmail.com. Find me on the Facebook, R&R Geek. Find me on the Twitter, R&R Geek. Find me on the Instagram, Rock and Roll Geek. Don't ask. All right, that's enough ways to reach me. Here's Bridget West and the Desperate Hopefuls. We will talk to you very soon, friends. It will not be 2 weeks. At least I hope not. Watch me. Oh, shit. Hold on. Back it up. All right, here's Bridget West and the Desperate Hopefuls.
Floated out to sea. It's a rock and roll geek train wreck.